Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, he's not that handsome, but he's a good provider. And the word of the day. How you doing, April?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. How about you?
I'm exhausted, actually.
Yeah.
I can't even say tired. I am so exhausted.
Aren't you exhaustion?
I'm exhaustion. Yes.
Yeah, this is the part of the year where it gets tiring. I think it's going to get worse pretty soon. I feel like every year when we get to where the time's about to change, I get really tired a lot easier. Yeah, I'm so boring. See how boring I am? She can't even
help
stay.
it. I usually can control my yawns, but I'm so tired.
I know. But here's the thing, though. Once the time changes, it's going to get worse.
I know. When the time changes, like, oh my goodness.
Every fall it happens.
Yeah.
It's going to be horrible.
But we'll get on track.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. So I saw something. today, and I wanted to ask you about it. I got it here on my phone.
Okay.
This is very interesting. It's a question that somebody wrote on social media, and they posed a question to men. Mm-hmm. And here's what it says.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
He's not the most handsome, but he's a great provider. Mm-hmm. Then it says, fellas, would you be offended if you heard your wife say this about you?
Ooh. So I guess that's a question I need to be asking you.
It's a question. Yeah, maybe. But I want to ask you a question similar to that soon in a second.
Okay.
Want me to answer mine first?
Yes.
Okay.
So seriously, if you heard me say that, he's not that handsome, but he's a great provider, what would that do to you?
Okay. So first of all, so initially when I read it, I thought that's what it said. He's not that handsome.
Okay.
And I immediately got offended.
Okay. So I must have said it wrong. What
you did,
say?
but I did the same thing.
Okay.
When I read it the first time, I basically, man, babe, I mean, she is struggling.
I can't even help myself.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that interesting. Anyway, so when I read it the first time, I said to myself, okay, she's basically saying, her man is ugly, but it's okay because he's a good provider. And I thought I'd be offended by that. But that's not exactly what it says.
Okay, so let me hear
Here's exactly what it says. Okay. He's not the most handsome.
Okay.
But he's a great provider.
Okay.
So when I read it that time, what I said to myself is, I might not be that offended if what you were comparing me to was Denzel Washington. If you're saying the most handsome person is Denzel Washington and he's not the most handsome, but he's a great provider, I might not get offended because what you may be saying is he may not be the best looking guy in the world, but he's a great provider. That doesn't necessarily mean that's as bad. But I think my natural inclination is to be offended by that. And I think my reason is because I like the fact that you think I look good.
Right.
And that hasn't changed.
Right.
Like over the years, you still think I look good.
Exactly.
Somehow that's important to me. I want you to be.
My man is fine.
I want you to be physically attracted to me.
Of course.
And I kind of feel like if you weren't physically attracted to me anymore, I might not be as confident as I am right now.
Wow.
I'm just being honest.
No, that would make sense. Yeah. No, I would feel the same way.
Like dead serious.
Yeah.
And you know how I put on something like, you know how sometimes I wear certain things and you'll be like, yeah, that's like, you'll say something like, that's too old to be wearing, or that looks like it's from the 80s, or, that's good for prayer meeting, stuff like that. When you say things like that, I know you're not talking about me and my face and my body or anything like that. But it still does something. That does something to me.
Exactly.
Just hearing that my outfit doesn't look good.
And I just talked about that on the last episode about you saying that's fine for school when I put on something. That's true. I don't like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like it's important to me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's my question to you.
Okay.
Let me go back because I want to finish answering your question. Now I think about it. All right, so if I overheard you saying that to somebody else, that would devastate me.
Oh, of course.
That would be,
especially when you thought otherwise.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought all this time that you thought I was good looking, and then I overhear you saying to one of your girls, he's not the most handsome.
Right.
But he's a good provider.
Oh, man.
I would almost be like saying, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
I couldn't get the one I really wanted, but at least he's a provider.
He's a 7. Right. To my friend.
Right. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, that'd be really bad.
Okay, so here's my question. What if it was similar? What if I said, she's not the prettiest person in the world, but she's really good with our kids.
Ooh, oh. That is...
Like, does that hurt?
Yes.
Really?
She's not the prettiest person in the world, but she's good with our kids is like, you're a good homey mom.
Right. And you're homely in the way that you look.
Exactly. Homely. That's exactly what I should have said. Homely.
Right.
No,
Man.
That's not cool.
I don't feel that way, by the way.
You best
My
not.
woman is banging. Yeah. So here's the real question, though. How important is it that if two people are talking about getting married, how important is it that they are physically attracted to each other? I guess what I'm really asking is, there are different levels of attraction, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. It's more than just physical.
Right.
Right.
So I think that you have to, I would not endorse anybody marrying somebody else if they're not attracted to them at all.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
I've had guys in college that I thought was attractive. And initially you're like, oh, he's cute. And then you talk to them and you immediately lose attraction.
Okay, so you're saying the way a person looks could also be affected by the way that they act.
Of course.
So that the way you
pretty
see
is
them.
as pretty does, my mom always said.
Okay,
So,
okay.
you can act ugly or you can act, not that attractive.
Right.
You can act not that great and
Right.
it changes the way you look
Okay.
physically, actually.
Okay. So for you,
I
a
would
guy
think-
can be cute and you've never talked to him a day in your life, and then the moment you talk to him, you find out he's a jerk. He all of a sudden doesn't look as good as he
It
did
doesn't even
before.
have to be a jerk. He could be
You want to say a wuss, but you don't want to say that on the camera.
no, not wuss. Well, okay, you could say that. I don't mind saying that on camera.
You like your man being a man, and
Yeah.
if he's not
Right.
a man,
Or he could be
you
like, flighty.
oh, I
And
see.
you
So
know
it's
what I'm
not
saying?
airhead.
Yeah.
Or not really intelligent or something like that.
Exactly.
Not
Or
that
just-
engaging or whatever.
exactly.
And that'll
Or-
change the way you think he
Right.
looks. Okay. All right. I see that.
I mean, that's happened many times.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But my question is, how important do you think it is that two people who are getting married are physically attracted to each other? And maybe I should ask the question differently. How important do you think it is that they think the other person is like a certain number on a scale of 1 to 10? So like basically, before we get married, do you think it's important that each person thinks the other one is at least a 7 or something like that?
Okay,
You know
I'm
what
going to
saying?
say this. Whatever floats your boat.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But I need to feel like my man is a 10.
Okay.
That's just my personal thing.
Right.
Plus, I love his personality, and I feel he's intellectual, and he
Right.
is smart and able to have a conversation, and we can laugh and
So hold on.
have a great time together. So there's a
Can you
lot
make
of
it-
different things.
Can you make it clear that none of what you just said is hypothetical?
It isn't.
Okay, good. Anyway.
That's why we would just,
Right,
say
rattle
it.
them off. Okay, good. All right. Makes you feel
Look,
good. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm just saying, if you're okay, look, we've had friends. One in particular that I was actually shocked when he was like, I know she's not that cute. I know she's not the best looking.
I remember that.
But, I really like her. And I was just like, wow. Like,
I was surprised
does
to hear
she
that.
does she know
Does she
that?
know you feel that
like,
way? Right.
There's no way.
And you're just openly telling us.
There's no way
Right.
that he's telling her that. So
Right.
is he actually pretending
Right.
that she is the best looking woman to him? Or that she's a 10,
Right.
because you can think another woman's a 10, I guess.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
not, we're talking about just physical.
Right.
I don't know. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you definitely shouldn't go in, making the person think that they are, this great looking person. And in your mind, you really don't think they are.
Right.
I mean, is that good?
I don't think so.
I mean, it can't be.
So here's how I feel. I feel like physical attraction is important.
I do feel that it's
I
important.
don't think it's necessarily the most important thing, but I
No.
do think it's important.
I think it's important. I don't think it's the most important thing because that can change.
It does change.
It does
Over
change.
time,
Over time, it
we
changes.
morph. Our bodies change.
That's why you need to get yourself a
a
10 so that if it drops
So
to
it
a
drops
7, you need some dropping space.
Okay, so if it's a 10, then he can drop to a 7 and it's still okay.
Right.
Right.
But if you start at a 7 and then you drop into 4s and stuff, that might be an
You
issue.
ain't right, girl.
No. And I'm saying I feel that you're a 10. You feel I'm a 10.
Right.
This is our thing.
Right.
I'm not asking everybody to feel he's a 10.
Well, okay, so
and I'm not asking everybody to feel I'm a 10. But if you feel I'm a 10, I am great.
but it
So
sounds
this is about what you feel in your own relationship.
But it sounds like what you're saying though is that a guy could be a 7 And then when you talk to him and meet him and listen to him and find out all these other attributes, that he could end up being more attractive to you, even though his face didn't really change. The fact that he's so intellectual and nice and all that kind of stuff, he becomes a 10.
Yes,
it might be possible.
I'm telling you. No, not might be. It is.
Okay.
Because again, let's go back to college days and high school times when you know, trying to date guys or whatever.
Right.
There were guys who I didn't think were attractive initially.
Right.
But as I got to know them, they were cuter.
Right.
And they ended up becoming a way higher number.
Right.
Because because I got to know them, and I mean, we enjoyed each other's company.
Right.
You know, we laughed together. They were a great person, and
Yes.
it makes them look better.
Right.
But I'm gonna say this. So the guy I was telling you about who said that she wasn't that great looking.
Right. Right.
I personally think that he did think she was a 10. So let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you what I think about people like that.
Yes.
Who say out loud. The fact that he was able to say that, he was doing that because I think he felt the people around him didn't necessarily think that she was a 10.
Okay. So he was trying to preempt that?
Exactly. I feel like he was trying to say, you know, I know she don't look that great, but I really like her. Almost like, you know, I know my friends, you know, guy friends are not, you know, saying, oh man, she's fine or whatever.
Right.
But I like her. And I'm saying, I don't like that either.
Right.
Because I feel like it's about you.
Right. And
It's
what
not
do you
about
think?
them.
So who cares what they think?
You know, and
Yeah.
I mean, we've experienced that with a lot of people in our lives, friends and stuff, that would make excuses as to why they're with that person if they're not, you know, they don't think that you think they're physically cute or whatever.
Yes.
But that's not up to me.
Right. And I realize now, I think you're right, because I'm realizing a couple things about this person.
Yeah, I had to think about that. Yeah.
This person didn't necessarily have what are stereotypical beautiful attributes, like whatever it is that a model would have in a magazine. This girl didn't have that. She was actually beautiful, though.
She is
yes,
a beautiful person.
Yes,
inside and out.
But she actually looked good on the outside. Like, she was actually cute. When he said it, I was like, what are you talking about?
I was like, what?
Yeah.
But I think he was thinking about his friends, his guy friends,
and I think,
the kind of girls that they like and they were with.
Hold on. I also think, when I think about the other girls he dated before her, that the other girls fit the more classically beautiful motif.
Exactly.
And I think what he was really saying, I think you're right. I think he was really saying was, here's one that I'm dating that's not like the other ones, but I still like her.
Yeah.
Basically.
But I feel like he shouldn't, and we should not, just as people, we should not have to explain to anybody why I am with this person as far as the physical attributes are concerned.
True. I agree.
Because it's about your eyes.
That's it.
You know, if you're okay waking up to that every morning.
Right. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly. And I'm saying, I don't have to wake up to it.
Right.
So why am I judging the fact that, you know, or making, you know, you don't want the person to feel like, but I'm just like, that's not a good thing, though, to go into it with this idea that I have to explain or I have to give a reason why I'm with her because they're not the magazine girl or the magazine guy.
Right.
And I feel like, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I feel like the guys today.
Yeah.
The reason why a lot of girls are having difficulty finding a man or a good man, whatever, is that I think guys now more than ever are more focused on that magazine girl.
And trying to have somebody that's like arm candy, somebody that you will think is attractive.
Yes, because stuff like power couples is in. Stuff like, you know, you got your Beyonce and your you know, Jay-Z. You have couples that are, you know, talked about and looked up, and now you have social media. So you have, you see everybody else's girl, you see everybody else's guy, and they all on there looking their best, you know? And so it's like, oh man, and that could be a subconscious thing that's going on. Because I really feel like a lot of women are having a hard time finding guys, but I'm noticing that when these guys do find them, they're finding these kind of girl that fits that, you know. That
stereotypical look.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so I got a question for you.
Okay.
Does Beyonce think Jay-Z is fine?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
It is. And
let me tell you something.
Based on your definition earlier,
I'm going to tell you something.
She could be attracted to things about him.
I'm going to tell you something.
Go ahead.
And you're going to be like, what?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I never thought Jay-Z was attractive.
I know. That's why I asked you the question.
I know you did. But
I'm
going to be honest with you.
Be honest with me.
I watched him on, who's the dude that does he got this new thing where he brings out the people. He used to be on late night.
Oh, you're talking about David Letterman?
David Letterman.
Yeah.
You know, he has that new show.
It's called...
I love it.
Something like My Next Guest Doesn't Need No Introduction or something
right.
like that.
And he doesn't tell the audience who he has.
Right.
When they come out,
right.
That's when you find out. So I just love the show.
Yes. It's a good show.
And Jay-Z was on there. And of course, when he came out, the people went nuts.
Yes,
it was great. It was great to see that.
It was a good episode.
And when I heard his story and him talking in the way, I'm sorry.
He immediately became more attractive to you.
He did.
Right.
Even though I'm still not,
right.
Attracted him like that.
Of course.
But
I see what you're saying.
I'm like, okay, Beyonce, I get you now.
Okay.
I get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't think I ever saw him, like I saw him doing little bitty, interviews or whatever,
stuff,
but not one that was
this one was in depth. This talked about his childhood, his father,
his mom,
all kinds of stuff, whatever.
How he was brought up and all that kind of stuff, what he went through a little bit.
It was good.
And so I was like, man, I even respected him more.
Right.
So it did. It actually made me change the way that I saw him physically.
Right. Okay. All right, so let's go back there.
So I do see why Beyonce.
Right. I can see it too. Yeah. All right, so let's go back now. All right, so we just made a case for being physically attracted to someone is of some kind of importance.
It is.
There's another side to this that I think happens sometimes, and some people are guilty of it. I think I might have been guilty of it before. Mm-hmm. I remember that when I was dating girls, like in high school and stuff, I was very shallow. I really was only dating girls sort of based on looks. And then when I got to college, I guess in my freshman year, I was trying to change that. I was trying to be less shallow. And so the way I thought I would do it is that I would try to date and not worry about looks. Mm-hmm. And I think something happened where I think my father was the one talking to me. And he basically said he didn't think that anybody who gets married should marry someone they're not attracted to. And when he said that, it immediately made me feel like, okay, I'm not shallow for wanting to date someone who's actually good looking. I'm shallow if that's my only criteria.
Exactly.
But I'm not shallow if that's part of it. That's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is I think it's important for people to realize that it's okay for you to date someone and to care about how they look, especially if you're talking about marrying them. I think it's important that you're attracted to this person.
I agree.
And it doesn't always have to be only physical, but I don't think that should be scratched off the list. I don't think that makes you superficial because you want your wife or your husband to be physically good looking. Okay,
so here's the next question. Do you feel that the attraction, and we just said that this is not just physical.
Correct.
They should be attracted to them.
Yes.
Like an overall attraction.
Overall attraction. Okay.
Do you feel that the attraction needs to be a high attraction?
I do.
Or can it be good? Because I do too.
I think it should be a high level of attraction if you're going to be marrying this person.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be a high level of attraction.
Yes. So, there's got to be something about this person that does it for you.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be that the person is as fine as Halle Berry.
Right.
They don't have to be the most beautiful person in the world for you to marry them.
Right.
But I do think there should be you should be able to look at them and say, wow, she looks good.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's important. But I do think the attraction, the overall attraction, and you know what? We should come up with like some kind of a test, like some kind of a thing, like a survey you could fill out, and it would give you like the number or something like that at the end. And I think you can factor in several things.
Yeah.
I think it should be like physical attraction should be on there.
Yep.
I think intellectual. Whether or not you think the person's funny, if that's important to you. You know what I'm
because
saying?
A humorous I don't know how you can say that.
I don't know either. But then what about chemistry? Because that's another thing.
Yes.
There's a part of this thing where it's like there's something about you that draws me to you.
There's got to
be some kind of chemistry.
I feel like there should be some kind of chemistry.
I agree.
Because I mean, and I'm not saying that people cannot get married and stay married who don't necessarily have all these things.
Agreed.
Perfectly matched.
Agreed. I agree with you. Yes.
But I am saying that I think that it allows the relationship to be more fulfilling.
Yes.
Overall.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like a total package in a way.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And for some people, I mean, and I've seen this too, where they say, look, I don't have everything, but I'm okay with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be alone anymore, or I like this guy. He's he loves the Lord, and he's a great guy. He takes care of me.
Right.
He obviously cares for me.
And I think you can say, I think you can be attracted to those things.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. But I'm just saying that may not be a high level.
Right.
Might not be high level, but there are some things you can check off that you could say, okay, you know what? These are things I care about a lot.
Right.
And if I have these, I'm okay with it.
Right.
You know, I'd rather have this than nothing.
So I'm curious about something, and I have no clue if you'd be willing to even put this in the comments. I wonder if somebody would comment and, hit us. You can even email us,
or
whatever
if
you
a
want to do.
past relationship. Maybe.
Is there any relationship you've been in before,
Yeah.
or you may be in one now, in a relationship right now, where you have decided that it's okay with you that the person you're with is not super duper physically attractive to you? Are you okay with that? And tell me why you're okay with it.
You're going to start some fights.
No, they're not going to tell that person. They're just going to tell us.
And that person not going to read it?
No, they
Come
won't
on.
read it. Just, inbox me or something. Email us directly so they won't see
Okay,
it.
so I just read this article that talked about couples that are attracted to each other.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Right.
And the article said, which was crazy, that this guy asked a question to over 1,000 married people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was astonished to find that half admitted struggling with a lack of physical attraction toward their spouse.
Half.
500
Of the 1,000.
were admitted that there was a lack of physical attraction.
Okay, now but
that's a little scary for me. Like,
Okay,
let me just say, if
but
you were
hold
part
on.
of that 500, let's say you were part of that 500.
the 500 that's
that's
struggling.
Exactly.
Okay, with physical attraction. Okay.
The thing that I would have, but the thing that I would start questioning
Mm-hmm.
is he looking at the people that he is physically attracted to?
If he's not physically attracted to me, is he finding a way?
Men
Yes.
are physical. We're
very
they're
visual.
very visual. That's what I meant
By
to
and
say.
large.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
visual.
yeah.
So if they see actual attractive people,
That's a good
are
point.
you
babe.
going to be looking at that?
Right.
Because you don't get to see it at the house.
Right. That's true. Wow.
I'm just saying. That's a little risky.
Yeah. Well, here's my question though. What I would wonder about that survey is how many of these people went into the marriage knowing that they struggle with physical
Okay.
attraction.
Well, that's true.
Is it
That's true.
only that, or
You're
is it
right.
that we've been married for a while and now I'm not
Okay.
attracted to my
So
wife anymore?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I just wonder.
Some of that is true. It did say that it was about the fact that over time,
Okay.
the physical attraction, the physical changed.
Right.
That person's physical appearance
So
changed.
so I like women like this, and over the years my wife changed and now looks like that, and so I'm no longer physically attracted.
Right.
Hey,
I don't know. But
I don't know
I
either.
think what you said earlier was very important. If that chemistry is there,
Yes.
if there's an attraction to the mind,
Yes.
attraction to the heart,
Yes.
attraction to the soul, you know what I'm saying? Soulmates. When you
Right.
have that, I think that it can be where you're not necessarily as physically attracted to that person as you were.
Right.
Am I saying that right?
You are.
I'm so sleepy. I can't.
Oh, but this is the reason why I think it's so important. This is the reason why I think it's so important that it's more than just physical. Because if it's just physical, then what happens is after 15 years,
You looking to the next because
the physical isn't the same.
Right.
It's not going to stay
You
the
had
same.
some babies and you or
Right.
you were pregnant with your wife and you ate or
Right,
whatever.
right. I was pregnant with you on both
Or-
pregnancies, and I gained a bunch of weight. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Or just,
my point is, it has to transcend just the physical. I think physical can be a part of it, but it can't just be that. Because if it's
Yeah.
just that, I don't think your relationship lasts.
I agree.
If that's all
Can't
it's based
be.
on,
Can't be
You know what I'm
physical
saying?
only. Can't be.
It's got to be more than
It's
that.
gotta
But
be more
anyway,
than
so let's wrap this thing up. Here's my thing.
Okay.
I think it's important that you're physically attracted to your spouse. If you're going to marry them, if it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever,
Right.
and you're planning on marrying them, I think there has to be physical attraction there.
I agree.
I don't necessarily think that the person you're married to has to be the best looking person in the world to you.
No, it does not.
But I do think there has to be an actual physical attraction. And I think there needs to be an overall attraction if it's really going to work.
I
long
like
term.
that word chemistry.
I do too. Yeah.
I think that should be the word of the
gotta be
day.
Maybe, but we already picked one. So,
Oh.
well, it could be that too. Who knows?
It doesn't have to be. I just feel like chemistry, man. I mean, I even see that when I'm
gonna look it
watching
up right now.
movies or when I'm watching shows and they have people that get together on the show or they're married couple or they're dating. You can feel the chemistry
You can.
in the show.
Right. That's true.
You can feel it. These actors have a chemistry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
you can tell when they don't.
If they don't, you don't want to watch the show long.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can tell when they don't. So I feel
true.
like chemistry is huge, and I think it helps with the, you know.
Yes, I agree. I'm glad
You
we
know
have.
what I'm talking about?
I do. I'm
Okay.
glad we have chemistry
Okay.
because there's other things too. You are actually the finest woman that I think lives and walks and breathes on the earth right now. And I'm only saying that because I haven't seen Eve. I never saw her, but you know what I'm saying.
Well,
And she's dead anyway.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
That's true.
So you can say that confidently.
You're absolutely right.
I think you're the finest man on the planet.
I better think that.
Fine as wine, sweet as sherbet, juicy as a steak.
Cut me some. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's time for Word of the Day.
Word of the day. And we had a different word. The word was going to be fetching. Everybody didn't really like that
I
word
don't
anyway.
like that word.
Just means attractive.
Yeah.
And we changed it to chemistry.
I like chemistry better.
That's much better. Here's what it means. The complex emotional or psychological interaction between two people.
When you talking about emotional and psychological,
Yeah, man.
that goes way deeper than physical.
It has to.
It has
does.
to. I'm
it
sorry.
transcends that.
Oh, yeah.
And it may start with physical for men,
Yeah.
but if it never gets past that, I do not think there is a real long future for a healthy relationship for
Right.
a man. I'm speaking as a man myself. That's the only
Well,
way I can
I
speak.
think I'm one of those women that are visual.
Yeah, you are.
Because I needed it to start physical too. I'm sorry. I wasn't about to be looking at Jay-Z talking about, hey, boo. I have to get to know him first and then, we could be friends.
Right, exactly. Oh, man. But there's no question there's chemistry between us, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
Yep.
I can feel it.
Yep.
This moment.
Yep.
Sorry, but in this joint. Until
Bye,
next time,
guys.
see y'all next week.
See ya.
Thanks for watching Just John and April.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell to be notified about our next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.